go very quickly over the objectives and expectations. We're going to go over the vocabulary. This is very important because when you're presenting your project at the end of the trimester, you need to use architecture vocabulary. Then we're going to do group work. We do the exit ticket, then we tidy up the room, and then we line up and you give me the exit ticket. Have you ever done an exit ticket? Do I have a volunteer to read objective number 1? Go ahead.
We will have determined our design success criteria.
Yes. Number 2, by the end of the class, fine.
We'll be able to sketch one or more floor plans, 1 to 4
Facades.
facades,
Facades.
and one perspective view of a house following
Principles.
of reasonable dimensions and functionality.
Thank you. And number 3, what's the number 3?
We will be able to calculate approximate areas from dimensions of species to observation and project them into B, maintaining original proportions.
Maintaining original proportions. That's very important. We're going to be working on 21st century skills. 21st century skills like creativity for you to make your design, communication for you to interact among your groups and to be able to explain your ideas. Critical thinking to make design decisions. You need to use critical thinking, otherwise it's very hard to make design decisions. Collaboration in groups and adaptability. And I included adaptability. This is very important in design because design is a process. And in the process, changes can happen. You can have a great idea, then all of a sudden you think, maybe this is not so good. What do? We change. That's okay. In design class, making changes is okay. Adaptability. These are the words that we will be using today. This is area, all of you know this. In architecture, we're going to talk about area. For square meters, we can express it using SQL. And let's get right to it. What is this? A compass. Thank you. Why is this important? But in the afternoon, the sun is very intense and it's very uncomfortable. If you are in a library, you're receiving the sunset sun, you're going to be very uncomfortable. So for this reason, this is going to be very important when you do your designs. We can see it here. This is the orientation, right? So because the sun is so intense here, if you have a rectangle, make sure the short facade is at the east and at the west, and the long facade is at the north and at the south. If you have this type of facade, you're going to have a lot of sun on the east and a lot of sun on the west. I don't want to see this type of design. Unless your design is a square, what do you do then? What you can do is to think about screens or shading mechanisms. These are screens, this is a canopy, and you can produce a lot of shade. So I'm not saying you cannot have a square. Yes, you can. I'm not saying you cannot have windows in the east and the west. Yes, you can. But if you do have windows in the east and the west, make sure we're introducing elements to protect us from the sun. So new words, lattice work, screens, canopies, all of those things will help you control the sun. How big is this bedroom?
Like 4 meters.
Very good. Like 4 meters. When we don't have dimensions written, we look at the furniture. We know that this is about 2 meters. So we can say these are 2 beds, this room is 4 meters. So you don't need to use a ruler, you don't need to know the exact dimension, but you can use furniture to guide your drawing. Just today, we're going to do sketches. We don't have to be absolutely precise. What I don't want to see is a toilet bigger than a bed. Who can tell me how tall is this classroom?
3 meters.
3 meters? How do you know?
Less.
Like
2.5.
2.5?
3.
Or 3. There's a good way of guessing the height of a room looking at the doors. In this document, you have this document in your Chromebooks. There are some dimensions, basic dimensions that you can use as a guide. Is it all clear?
Yes.
Alright, I also gave you this, in case you don't know how to draw something, you can open this document and now you know how to draw more things. Because I know you're going to be asking me, how do I draw a sink? How do I draw a toilet? You can use this as a guide.
I have an idea of having a living room, a kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and a garden.
Where is your south?
I think it's obvious.
You think it's over here, right? So usually a good place to have the living room, the social areas, is the south. So if I look at this, I would think this is a nice place to have the living room. And maybe here I will have the master room, so maybe you can have 2 rooms here. If you imagine there's a wall here, you can have a living room here. You are asking me, which one do you have to do? The floor plan, this is the floor plan, or the 3D drawing? The answer is you will do both. But today we are going to focus on this one.
On the outside of the house, we're planning on taking advantage of the river, which is next to the actual house, to put a hydroelectric power generator to take advantage of the current. So we can work on the most efficient sources of energy, which will produce the most amount of energy for the low cost.
So this is an ultra big house. We have solar panels.
And what's happening here?
No, this is the patio.
And you have a swimming pool?
Yes.
Do you guys think a swimming pool is zero waste?
No.
I want you to think about it and make a critical thinking decision, okay? Use your critical thinking. Is this really zero waste? And it's your choice.
For me, the north is here.
Where? Here? So don't forget to draw the north sign. Write 1 or 2 sentences of why is orientation important in architecture design. We have 2 big activities today. I'm going to be using timers to help you manage the time. And this is the class agenda. I'm going to give you an introduction to drawing perspectives. I know you have been drawing perspectives with teacher Angel in technical drawing class. So this is going to be like a connection. My expectations for the class. You already know this. Be respectful among yourselves, towards me, towards everybody. Do your part and do your best. Get an 8. And I have your exit for last class. This one is another good one. Orientation is important because depending on it, your house will be affected. If it's oriented west and south and you are in the northern hemisphere, your house will be hotter. Moreover, depending on that, your house will be illuminated or not. Yes, this is good. Julia, good job. And the last one, orientation is important because it determines the location of windows in order to minimize the waste of energy. For example, if located in the northern hemisphere, the windows should be mostly located in the north and south in order to prevent overexposure to sunlight and unnecessary air conditioning. This one was by Helen. Helen, very good. Something like this is not acceptable. Orientation is important because it's a good form to design with architecture. I'm not going to tell you who wrote that answer. I'm going to do a small recap to clarify misunderstandings. We're going to go very quickly through this, and then we will move to our next activities. Is this design a good design? Yes or no? Yes or no? Show me with your fingers. Bad, right? It's very easy. Who can tell me why this design is bad?
The sun is to the west.
That's correct. That means it's going to be a very hot house and it's going to need a lot of air conditioning. For those of you who have your design in the southern hemisphere, what is the reality? What is special about it?
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. So where is a good place to put the solar panels?
To the north.
To the north, that's right. For them, the good place to put the solar panels is the north. Helen, can you tell me why do you like number 1 better? It's simpler? And it's easier to draw. I like that answer. Number 1 is actually very easy to draw. Who can show me the vanishing points? Yes. No, in the left and in the right. Very good. And then we have orthogonal lines that are the same as receding lines. Are all these lines that are 90 degrees in reality that we're going to use to create our projection. All the things that are far away look smaller. It is this word. Who can read this word? For shortening. Can we all read it, please? For shortening. You can choose whether you use an isometric perspective, which is actually quite easy, or you can choose to draw a 2-point perspective. Vanishing points. If the lines are not going to the vanishing points, then those are not part of the perspective.
So that
Se tiene que quedar como esto ancho y esto pequeño, ¿no?
Yes, exactly. That's foreshortening. Like things, as they go far away, they look smaller.
Okay.
Yes, now it's looking a lot better. All the lines have to go to the vanishing points. Okay, so these 4 lines, draw them to the vanishing point and you will get the right perspective. You have to enter with your Google account and we will start drawing this in Home by Me. And I'm going to give you 10 minutes. And then when you are happy with something that looks similar to your sketch, you click here validate. You approve it.
Yeah.
I am doing the furnitures, like
You're adding the furniture?
adding to my project. This is my project. This is like a villa. This is a bedroom.
If we are going to be using SketchUp, I want to know first of all who has used SketchUp before. Show me with your fingers if you have used it or if you haven't. Haven't. You have. Do you remember the spaceship you built last year? That was in SketchUp. So again, one more time. Have you used SketchUp? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so we have like 30% of students who haven't used it. So today we're going to do a review for those of you who have used it before and an introduction for all of those of you to whom this is new. This is the class agenda. We will read the objectives and expectations. We will do a Home by Me review, an introduction to SketchUp. The activity 1 is that we're going to import our floor plan from Home by Me. We're going to scale it in order to be able to build it in SketchUp. The activity 2 is start building your 3D model. You already know everybody will be working on SketchUp today. Every single person will be working on SketchUp today. We will do a very easy exit ticket, and then we will tidy up, hand in the exit ticket, and line up to exit. Is that clear?
Okay.
Yes? Okay, these are the objectives for the class. Who was already number 1?
We will be able to import our design layout from the home by me into SketchUp.
That's right. We will learn how to import it and how to scale it to using SketchUp number 2.
We will be able to use SketchUp to start building a 3D model.
That's right. We'll be able to start using SketchUp. Those are the 2 main objectives of the class. This presentation, you will have access to it in your task in Google Classroom. So whatever question, if I cannot answer to you immediately, you can open it and take a look at this presentation. You have your rubric for achieving the outstanding score. Don't forget to take a look at this always. If you have a question, take a look at the column. Aim for a 7, aim for an 8, don't aim for less than that. As usual, be respectful, do your part and do your best, and leave the classroom as you found it. I will read 2 that I really liked and 1 that I didn't like and that I hope you do better. It enhances one's understanding of the sizes and distances of each object and also gives the illusion of more depth. It's very important to help us better understand the drawing in terms of its relation to the surroundings. This one right hand. And this one, I will not read the name of the person. This is a non-example. I don't like this type of exit tickets this person wrote because it's more beautiful. Please do better next time. By me, remember what we did last class? We have a grid. This grid is always showing you 1 meter by 1 meter. This is important because knowing this, we will be able to scale it when we start building our SketchUp. Don't forget this. And then we have the option of viewing our model in 3D view if we want to, and take amazing screenshots. And this one is also optional. You can take a view from the inside. SketchUp is a software used by designers all over the world, and it's a software that can be used to build 3D models of very simple things, very simple volumes, very simple objects, to very complex ones. As you can see in this example, you can have this very abstract and simple object. We can also extrude walls, and then we can go into something as complex as you want. And it's a very easy to use software. And we will be talking about volumes. Who can tell me what this is?
Una porra.
Porras, churros, right? These are churros. Who can tell me how are churros made?
With water and flour.
With water and flour, right? So basically we make a dough, and then we put it in a baking sleeve, and then we pass it, and at the mouth of the baking sleeve there's a star, right? And that's why churros have this shape, because of the star at the end. And the reason why I'm saying this to you is because in SketchUp we do something very similar. What we do is we have the shape, the flat shapes, and then we use this command that is called push, and we push the shape, we make an extrusion, and we create a 3D volume. This idea, this is what we're going to be doing, all of us, with our sketches, with the sketches that we did last class, and with the floor plans that we drew in Home by Me. We have a shape, we push it, and we get a volume. Okay? That is the main idea. Important things. The first thing that you will do when we open SketchUp, when we go on the website, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to press here, and you're going to choose meters. Okay? Otherwise, we are not going to know in what units we are working. So this is the first and most important step at the beginning. And these two, orbit and pan, they are right here, orbit and pan, they will allow you to move around your model. So if you use orbit, you can see your model from all of the sides. And with this one right here is pan, you can just move your screen. Okay? So these two are for navigation. And for creation, you have line, rectangle, and push to create the volumes. And this is a very nice step-by-step. You can see, guys, how you can start from something very simple until something more complex. We will go in this process step by step. It is a process, we all know that. So the first thing I want us all to do is to import a floor plan from Home by Me into SketchUp. And you guys have an image that is ready to be traced. The majority of you has successfully imported your image from Home by Me and has successfully scaled it to a real actual dimension. This is very general, but it gives you an idea of how to start exploring the software. I'm going to draw my floor plan that I just traced. So I have created this shape. It's right here. Can everybody see it? I'm going to get closer to it. And I have one option that is to start drawing each wall by hand, right? So I can type 0.1, but a faster way of doing that is just to use the offset command. So the offset command is this one right here, or you can type F. You can type F, that's the shortcut. And if you type F, you will have this. Like how far do you want that parallel line to be? In my case, I want it to be 20 centimeters. So I'm going to type 0.2, and that's it. And I have created this parallel line. Now I'm going to use push. This is the push button. And I'm going to create a wall Does everybody see it?
Yes.
I'm going to create a wall that is 3 meters high. And that's how we trace it and we model it. So we are going to wrap up. This is the glossary of the class. I left it for the end, but these are the words that we use today. We use extrusion, that means to extrude something, like a churros example, offset to create parallel lines, tracing. What is tracing? Who can tell me? Thank you. I have an exit ticket for today. There is no right or wrong answer. I just want to know what is the easiest and what is the hardest part for you of using SketchUp. So maybe next class we can work on those. Get right to it. This is the class agenda. Very quickly we will go through the objectives and expectations. I will do a short SketchUp review. Then I will do an introduction on building roofs. Then we will put it all together. Then today we will have a group exit ticket. We will not have an individual exit ticket. I want an exit ticket per group. Okay, change it a little bit. And then we'll tidy up, hand in the exit ticket, and line up. Alright, let's move on to the objectives.
We will be able to read the roof in your SketchUp now.
Number 2, who wants to read it?
We will be able to complete the basic model of our design.
That's right, we will be able to complete the basic model of our design. If we don't finish the entire model today, you're going to take it home, and you're going to finish it at home. But at least today, by the end of the class, we will be able to see the basic volume. Expectations for the class, as usual, be respectful, do your part and do your best, and leave the classroom as you found it. I read all of your exit tickets last class, and I realized that many of you had challenges mainly in these 3 areas. This is the review. Remember, you have this presentation in your Google Classroom. You can use it as a resource, you can use it as a reference. With this tool, and I say this to the other class, this is like a modern pen and paper. But still, the design is your brains. This is just a tool, okay? It's not like, oh, the computer did this for me. No, we are telling the computer what to do. For navigation, I know that it is hard to navigate in this software. Don't forget, in order to navigate, we use these 2 commands. Pan is to move up, down, and sideways. Orbit is to move around your model. One tip, if you guys have a mouse, use it. It's going to be very, very useful. If we don't have a mouse, remember to always go back to these 2 buttons, okay? I know it is a bit challenging with the trackpad, but it works. So today we're going to be creating roofs. And these are some type of roofs that maybe you have in your designs. The first one is a pitch roof. Who can tell me what a pitch roof is? Like this, right? We talked about it last class. Okay, vaults. What are vaults? They are in churches in...
Like a sphere.
Like a sphere, kind of, but no. Like an arch, like an extended arch. And then domes. Domes are like a sphere. When you're writing your document, use this vocabulary, guys. You have this resource. If your roof is like a gable roof, right? My design is a gable roof or a Dutch gable roof. Use this as a resource. And also, don't forget that we're doing a zero waste project. What they did is they used the slope in the roof to put the solar panels. This architect put a green wall. It's like a green wall, a green roof to create this project. So remember, your project is a zero waste project. I want to do a short activity, 1 minute. I'm going to ask you a question. You are going to discuss in your group for 1 minute. And then I say stop, everybody quiet, and then some of you share the answer. So the question is, with the commands that you know right now using SketchUp, how would you build this roof? Okay guys, you have 1 minute, discuss, and then we share. Alright, we stop. Everybody, we stop. What group wants to share? How would you build it?
With the line.
With a line and?
Like a triangle.
You draw a triangle. And then?
With the pitch. With the out.
With the
Push button.
Does everybody agree? That's basically what we do. We draw a triangle. We can draw a triangle in a box, and then we can use the push button to subtract this part of the volume, and we get the pitch roof. Or we can draw a vertical triangle, and then we use the push button to create this type of roof. So I know you don't have this in your design, but if today you guys decide that this would be a good idea for your design, this is the right time to change your design. It's okay. If later your final 3D model and your sketch are not exactly the same, that's not a problem. If you want to try and do something like this and challenge yourselves, that would be great. Also, zero waste. So to build vaults is the same idea. We basically draw a vertical circle, and then we use the push button. That's right. And then the last one, these are domes. Building domes is a little different. This is the way we build it. We use a different command. We don't use push because we push, we get vertical volumes, right? This one is a curved volume. So what we're going to use is a command called follow me. How do we use follow me? Basically, we have a path, and we draw any shape, and this shape is going to follow the path. In this case, my path is a circle, and then I do a quarter of a vertical circle, and I ask it to follow this path, and I get a dome. This is how you build domes. If any of you want to challenge yourselves and do a dome today, I'm happy to come and help you if you have any further questions.
So we need to put the furniture.
For the SketchUp one, you don't need to include the furniture. The furniture was in the home by me. In the SketchUp one, that's a very good question. We don't need to include the furniture, okay? Another question is?
Like the form of my house, the shape of my house.
Of course, today is the perfect time to do all the changes you can think of. Do you have any other questions? Yes?
We need to finish on the inside part.
In the SketchUp model? No. Do you have any other questions? No? Okay, so that's our checklist, and we can start now. We'll do an exit ticket. I will let you know when the time is to do the exit ticket. Let's begin. Now here, find follow me. Follow me. No. And you select this one. Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
And now what we can do is actually we can scale it. You can even select it. And then maybe you can scale here. Yes. Or this one. Yes. And you make it longer. Something like that. And you can turn around and see it. You can make it a little lower because it's a little high now. You can scale. This one is the center. Or higher is your design. You can move it more like towards that one.
Yes, thank you.
So they have this amazing sketch, and we're trying to recreate this into their SketchUp model. One thing that they have to do is to add an additional volume here at the top. So I think you guys are doing that in S. You can draw a rectangle with the rectangle tool on the roof and push. And more or less, how to? 3 meters. See the screen? And actually here you have like a rooftop. You have like a terrace and you have the handrail, right? Still move these lines. Another way to do it is actually, I'm gonna undo this. You want to do something that you love. Also to increase the grade, right? But also think about that you're going to love this. Can you raise your hand if you have the final model of your group? 1, 2, and 3 final houses. I know some of you lost that video. This class, which was 2 weeks later, you had to come with a house. Do you remember that? So, when the rest of the class is sharing the final model with their peers, you guys who lost your file are going to create a new model. Just a box with a roof, something very simple, but we need everybody to have something in SketchUp. This is an individual work. Do you guys have any questions about this? So, if you have the final house of your group, what are you going to do? Share it. And if you don't have anything, what are you going to do? If you don't have anything, create a new SketchUp. Very good. Then you will design your landscape. Then we will have a short brain break because this class is too long and I know that you guys get tired, I get tired too, so we're going to have a short brain break. Then you will animate your model and then we will tidy up, line out, and hand in the exit ticket. For those of you who are advanced, those of you who already have the landscape, you guys can continue working on your animation today. The next challenge for you guys is to put it in a video editor, put some music to it, some annotations, and make it look very, very cool and very presentable. Something way better than this. This is just an example. What we want to convey with this video, with this presentation, we want to talk a little bit about the site. So I want you to tell me a little bit about where your project is located. We have to touch on tradition and culture. That's what you saw in my video. I had like the non-aligned doors because I'm talking about feng shui, which is typical in this culture. And the impact, which in many of the cases is going to be that our projects are creating awareness of zero waste. So when you're doing the annotations of this video, just throw in there some sentences about this, like you're selling this project to someone.
We will create animation using a sequence of scenes.
That's right. We will create animation using a sequence of scenes. My requirement is that it's at least 10 scenes. The example that you just watched is 20 scenes. It's a little long. Yours doesn't need to be that long. You can use 10 scenes. The reason I repeat this is because many of you go from the email and you try to open that file, you won't be able to open it from the email. You have to open it from where? From SketchUp, that's right. Do not open it from your email. It's not going to open. If you download something very heavy, chances are that your computer will crash. So go to models and try to find items that are not so heavy. Also your animation, if you have like very heavy models, your animation is gonna lag. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be lagging. So we don't want that, right? So try to find things that are not too heavy. To create these scenes, what you have to do is imagine you are the director of a drone and you're trying to make a movie and you're trying to tell a story with this movie. So you set scenes around your project and you're telling a story. Maybe you start with the entrance, or maybe you start with the south facade because it's the most important part of your project. Tell me a story. We can randomly move around the model and create those scenes, but the idea behind creating those scenes is that you're able to tell a story about your project. This button right here, we can change the settings, we can adjust the time of the transition of the scenes and the delay time. My advice is that you set it to 0, but this is just my advice. It's your animation, you can set it for how long you want. When you set it to 0, as I advise you to do, you're going to have one scene, then another scene, then another scene, then another scene. This has time here. What is going to happen is that you're going to have one scene, then you're going to move to the next one and stop there for 1 or 2 or how many seconds you set. Then it's going to move and stop. This is possible. If you like it that way, that's fine, but it can be a little slow. For those of you who have finished the animation, what we are going to do is to take a screen recording of your animation. We're going to hit play and we're going to screen record. Do you guys know how to screen record? Yes. Who knows and who doesn't know? Show me with your thumbs. One of the yeses, can you explain how to screen record? Then you're going to take the screen recording, that's going to be an MP4, and you can take it to any video editing tool. The one that I used was Clipchamp. You guys know how to use Kitsoa. There is KineMaster. You can use any video editing tool that you want. The most important thing, guys, is that you're setting the mood. You're setting an atmosphere. That is landscape design. Landscape design is all about setting an atmosphere. Amazing landscape, I love it. You have a lot of plants, trees, you even have hammocks, you have lounge chairs. This is really nice, Leonard. So next step is you're going to start creating your scenes, okay, to create your animation. I've seen palm trees. I really, really appreciate your hard work, guys. You are creating amazing, amazing landscapes. As I promised, yes, this is bravery time. So what we're going to do, guys, is you have a piece of paper in front of you. Yes. All of you have a piece of paper? Everybody has one? Yes? So, because I know this time of the year is so stressful, you guys are very stressed, I'm very stressed. It's just to write in this piece of paper something that you're very stressed about. Just write it down. Whatever you guys want to write that you're very stressed about, just write it. Are you ready? Yes? Has everybody written? Take your piece of paper, everybody. Papers up. Make a ball with it. Make a ball with it. And throw it here. Go, go, go. What's your target? Go. I'm going to read a couple of them randomly. This can be any of us. This person is very stressed about some useless hours in school that they could spend in their own stuff. This is something to be very stressed about. Sometimes all of us can be stressed about this, right? We feel that the time is just going by and that we can be doing something more useful for us. The last one, this person is very stressed about their personal project. So I can relate to this. All of us face this type of challenge, right? And sometimes we are doing projects and this can be very stressful for any one of us. So my empathy to you guys, I understand this is a very stressful time. But yeah, we will get there. Okay? Thank you guys. The last activity is we're going to do the animation. On the screen. I'm going to open it. I have the plus sign here. I have my scenes here. So what I do is I press the plus button. What I'm going to do now is zoom in, for example, I want this point of view. So I'm going to create another scene. And we will click, I hit the plus button, and there it is. Scene 1, scene 2. To move from one scene to the other one, I press the play button. It's gonna take a while, but there it is. And this is our animation. This is the example with 2 scenes. You guys have to do at least 10 scenes. Who can tell me how to create an animation? Raise your hand. Do you have any other question? You guys are doing great. I think all of us can finish this challenge today. So let's complete this challenge. It's like stop motion, and the computer completes the frames for you. So you just give the main frames, and the computer completes the frames.
¿Y cómo lo creo?
Movie icon, yeah. And there's the plus. And there you go.